Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today Keir Stammer has stepped down and we're already having the conversations, who's next? So Andy Burnham, a northerner, is potentially stepping into number 10. But I don't want to talk about who's next. I want to talk about the pattern, because I've watched this country long enough and I know the pattern. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. The Romans had a phrase for it: bread and circuses. Keep the people fed and entertained, and they won't look to see what's happening behind the curtain. And I think that's what we're living through again. So let me walk you through exactly what I mean. So let's think about Boris Johnson. The hair, the gaffes, the blustering, the personal life. You know, he played the lovable buffoon. And that was exactly what it was. It was a performance. Because while the entire country were talking about Boris, his character, his jokes, his scandals, and there were plenty of them, things were changing. Real things, policy, funding structure, the things that affect your weekly shop, your energy bill, and your everyday life. Nobody was watching those things. Everyone was too busy watching the show. Think about Dominic Cummings, the advisor, who during COVID drove all the way to Barnard Castle, supposedly for an eye test. Absurd. And whilst everyone is debating, was he lying? Was he telling the truth? Should he resign? Behind the scenes, government reconstruction is taking place. Things are happening and continuing. Real decisions, real changes happening quietly while everyone's discussing Dominic Cummings this, Dominic Cummings that. Absurd. He played his role, and it wasn't the eye test. It was the distraction, just like all the others. And then there's Keir Stammer, positioned and presented in a certain way. Serious, measured, performing, acting out authority on the world stage. And while we watched that performance, financial and structural changes kept advancing. The cost of living kept climbing, the bills kept coming, and the conversation stayed on the performance, not the substance. Do you see it? Each one of the characters on the stage, each one a distraction, and once the job in the background is done, once the changes are in place, the next character steps up. Now I want to take you back, because this isn't new. It's older than you think. The last northern-born Prime Minister we've had in this country was Harold Wilson. He was born in the north of England, Huddersfield, Yorkshire. He served twice as Prime Minister, 1964 to 1970, and again 1974 to 1976. 50 years ago, and no northerner has held office since. When Wilson took office, he inherited a financial mess. The country was spending far more than it was earning, a deficit of hundreds of millions. The economy was struggling. Ordinary households were feeling it, much like today. And Wilson had to make a decision. a decision that would affect every household in Britain. On November the 18th, 1967, Harold Wilson devalued the pound. Overnight, the money in your pocket, your wages, your savings, your everything was worth 14% less. Imported food cost more. Household goods cost more. The basics of life became more expensive. And then he went on television and he looked into the screen and he said, "This does not mean that the pound here in Britain in your pocket or purse is worth any less." Sound familiar? It was worth less, 14% less. And the people who felt it the most were the people who had the least to spare. Northern industrial communities, factory workers, miners, families who were already struggling. Now here's the thing, excuse me, while all of this was happening, while the pound was being devalued and prices were going up, what was the country talking about? Wilson's character, his credibility, his personality, whether you could trust a northerner in number 10 or not. The debate was about the man. The reality was the money. Bread and circuses, 50 years ago.
50 years later.
And here's where I am with all of this. The cost of living has been devastated, another financial crisis. And I don't need to tell you, because you live in it. And you've watched me time and time again bringing you my food discount hauls. And I've been doing it for over 6 years now. And you can see the difference from what I spend to what the supermarkets and the system are trying to charge us. I've shown you savings, and the gap is real, and it's getting wider. And now another northerner might be going onto the stage, someone who sounds like us, someone who understands, someone from our side of the divide. And I keep asking myself the same question over and over again. Does it matter where the PM is from? Because here's what history tells us, and it's telling us today, and it's telling us every day throughout history. The last time a northerner led us through a financial reset, it was the pound in our pocket that lost its value. And he told us it hadn't. And we debated his character while our money brought in less. So I'll ask it plainly, when the hard decisions come, and they will come, does a northern voice in number 10 mean northern households are protected? Or does it mean the person delivering the difficult news sounds like one of us, and that might make it easier to swallow? I'm not saying I know the answers. I'm not saying I'm asking the question. I'm just asking the questions. Because I've seen this pattern before, and so have you. And even if you didn't have a name for it, we could feel it. Bread and circuses. Give us a character to talk about, give us a personality to debate, give us a northerner to rally behind or to argue about and put down, while the real changes happen somewhere else, behind the curtain. So what do we do with it all? Same thing we always do. We look after our own, we prepare, and we share what we know. I started shopping at the food discount stores during COVID, when mustard wallflowers was on furlough. We didn't have enough And when I started shopping there, we did. We were food rich, but not money rich. And I built a system that worked for us. Over 6 years and 300 shops, not because I wanted to, but because I had to initially. Whatever happens next, whoever sits in that chair, whatever character takes the stage next, the people who survive it best are the ones who already lived with less and learned to live with less. The ones who've already built their own safety net. The ones who know where the next meal is coming from, regardless of what's happening in Westminster or on the world stage. That's not politics, that's just life, and it's what we do here. The bread itself is the real story. It always has been. The circuses are just the distraction. So I want to ask you, and I really mean this, how about you? Do you see the pattern? Do you think having a Northern MP will change anything in your household? Or does it feel the same story with a different face? Have they been put in to do the next job behind the curtain and distract you while it's happening? Tell me in the comments, because I genuinely want to know what you're thinking. I really do. Okay. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for listening. Please take care. Remember you're loved, and the world is a better place with you in it. Bye, love.